Hello! Hello. Welcome to another stream. Hello, Gojo. I am mostly worried about the cat's mental state now. Well, yeah, my mental state is all over the place. I mean, you can see that by the totally unedited thumbnails. There's been no editing going on at all. That's like a photo I just took. Do you like it? It looks like it's summoning demons. Man, I might as well be doing that. I'm so annoyed. I don't know if you've kept up with like the international news, but you probably remember that I was supposed to go to Sri Lanka like next week, and it's pretty much chaos. It's pretty much chaos all over the place now. But there's been a bunch of displaced people and people have died. Infrastructure has gone crazy, like there's no electricity in parts, no clean water. There's like food shortages and like the whole country is like in a crisis mode. And here I was like, okay, I'm going to Sri Lanka. So that's why I'm a bit late today. I had to like sit and look through the terms and stuff like that for the flight we booked to be able to make sure that we can actually like cancel the flight. So it's chaos like planning or chaos like you're not sure if you're going. Oh, we've decided now that we're not going. It's supposed to be a holiday and go into like a situation like that where in one part you're gonna put like more strain on the country simply by being there, like requiring food and clean water and all of that. And you don't even, like we didn't even have a booked hotel. The whole plan was to go backpacking, and when you're backpacking you like go, yeah, you go wherever, find some place to sleep and all of that, like from day to day. And that didn't feel like a good idea now. So it's all been cancelled. Though we do get our money back, most likely. Maybe not all of it, but most of it. Yes. I also worked on that. So that should hopefully there are no more broken emotes. I think it was only YouTube left that had issues, and now that seems to be working. The joy! Nice. I still haven't found a way to block the Twitch bots entirely, but I'm working on a solution for that as well. So hopefully that issue will take care of itself. Oh, how was your day? Oh my god. Oh my god. How? Wait, did you use the emotes or did you copy from yesterday? Wait, that isn't working either? That should work. Oh my god. Okay, so with the text now is an issue. It worked with text before, I think, so somehow I managed to break that functionality. Oh my god. It's weird because I can see it working. Like, can I show? Hmm. Hmm. The struggle continues. Yeah. I mean, there's gotta be some ways to make it work. It's just such an annoying problem because YouTube has the emotes like... Oh my god, why can't I copy? Like, this is how it looks. Wait. That's not how it should look. It should look like this. That should be the... I'm gonna try something real quick. I'm opening my own stream and then I'm pasting in. If I paste it, simply the emote, then that obviously works. And if I instead paste this one, then it won't work. No. Wow! Hello! How do you like the remastered cookie? Put lots of work into it. Around 2 minutes. It was perfect. Like the glistening surface and everything. It looked like, I don't know, like freshly baked or something. It was incredible. You went to like, I don't know, ChatGPT or Gemini or something and like gave it the image, then said enhance, and it spit out the perfect image in return. A cool app. I don't know when the last time I even used an app to edit a photo. There used to be like a bunch of photo editing apps. I think there still are, probably. It's just that I don't use like Instagram or anything like that, so I never have to edit photos. Not very advanced, but has some interesting options. Mobile. Yeah, I meant of mobile, obviously, because there are a bunch of different editing programs for your PC or whatever. But you found that image on Google, didn't you? I think I remember that. Good coding yesterday. I wrote like one line. No, not one line, but not a lot either. I don't know if you saw, but let's see. Activate PS1 and then Python master file .py. We do get some resemblance of legible text now, at least. And that was a quick fix because I didn't do much programming. So, Who are building a brain? Who are building a brain? Who are building a brain? Who? Eller woo. Woo. Woo are building a brain. It's supposed to be we, and it's forgetting all of this text here as well. So it's progress, but it's still stupid. Still stupid. 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 I only have 8 or 7 bosses remaining for all Radiant, no hit in Whole Night. Man, you're crazy. You're absolutely insane. I don't understand how you don't rage quit. Like, no hit. That means you have to do a perfect run. Maybe not perfect. Perfect might be too strong of a word, but yeah, nearly perfect run. I've gone beyond suffering, beyond despair. Your mind is in the abyss, devoid of thought, devoid of feeling. You just exist. Life has left you. All that's left is existence. And existence is pain. Pain. Pain beyond measure. I was less than a ghost, less than a mean spirit, whatever Voldemort says whenever he's describing his sensations after he's been killed. Less than the meanest ghost. You're a wizard, Gojo. Hollow Knight is your phylactery. And each time you play, you're killing yourself. That's probably the only reason you haven't given up yet. You have no more mind to think, no more heart to feel. It's all gone into defeating the next boss, the next Radiant version. I honestly don't understand how you can do that. For me, there's like a big difference between something being difficult and fun and something being... What's even the word for that? Punishingly cruel, maybe? 90 hours, but the cinematic text was really cool. No mind to think, no will to break. No voice to cry suffering. No cost too great. Oh, it goes on. It goes on and on and on. Born from God and Void. Void is such a cool concept. I do vibe with Void. It's the cinematic you got when getting Void Heart. Right. Hollow Knight. I'm pretty excited to try Silksong when I get back from my trip. It's not decided yet where we're going instead. We're probably gonna go like a last minute flight. One of those. Like where we don't even know where we're going. Like from before a day or so before. Warsaw, let's go to Poland. Poland to drink and... What can you even do in Poland except to like drink and go to bars? I don't know. Drink and go to bars, I say, but that's synonymous. Like, is there something that Poland is like famous for, like as a tourist trap? Hmm. Good question. I've only known like some Polish guys growing up, and I only know like their families often went to Poland to buy spirits and then drove home again because it was so cheap. You do have good vodka. But I don't know. I've never heard like there being anything specific in Poland that you can't like do in Sweden. There might be something to do when going to Poland if you're like not from either the Balkan countries or the like Scandinavian ones. Maybe if you're from like, I don't know, some of the warmer parts of Europe, or maybe from, I don't know, America or Asia or something like that. Then there might be like cultural things to see that we as like natives in our countries wouldn't even think of like tourist attractions. I know one known building in Poland, but it's probably not known outside of it. Poland is maybe known from pierogi. Wait, that's food, right? Pierogi. Pierogi. That's how I spell it. Wait, did it auto-translate? Translate back. Pictures. Isn't this like dumplings? It looks like dumplings. Yeah. Is it like almost exact same thing, or do you have like your own spin on it that's unique? Yeah, this could be like the dumplings I've eaten from China. China. I bought like dumplings once, like frozen ones, and it didn't go so well to cook them. I don't know, it didn't taste right. Maybe the fact that I had like, I know an older lady that often creates like authentic Chinese dumplings for us. Maybe that's the reason I've gotten so... I've refined my palate for dumplings, so I can't eat frozen ones. There is the Wieliczka salt mine. Just read on the internet, it's in the UNESCO list. What is UNESCO? UNESCO. United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization. Change to English. Okay, now we got the writing language here. Okay, so... Oh! Okay, I think I've heard of this before. Like, yeah, like the World Heritage... They have like the World Heritage list or whatever it's called. Radium and polonium. What is radium? Highly radioactive silvery white alkaline earth metal. It has the symbol Ra. Death. But I mean, that's not a tourist destination, is it? Wait, it was... Oh, Mary Curie. She was a Polish woman. I see. She died in France, though. Pierre. That's probably a French guy. Yeah, French. I just profiled that guy from his name, but yeah. Lived in France, but born Polish. Yeah. French. Yeah, she did die due to radiation, right? I think so. That would make sense, though, if she handled, like, radioactive materials. Because I guess, like, there are always, like, museums and stuff like that in each country. Like, museums for, like, people like Marie Curie and stuff like that. Maybe World War II memorials and museums and stuff like that. That might be neat to check out. But those kind of attractions are in all countries. That's not Poland specific. Do you have like any landmarks? Maybe also Warsaw. In Warsaw there's this building. Yeah, architecture is also a thing that's interesting to look at sometimes. Like we have the Leaning Tower of Pisa, the Colosseum, is it called that? I think so. That's in Italy though. But that's the most like famous ones I can think of. Palace of Culture and Science. Palace of Culture and Science, Warsaw. It's closed. Oh, it's pretty elegant. A notable high-rise building in central Warsaw. It's the second tallest building in both Warsaw and Poland. I see. Fascinating. Ooh, it did have like a park. Nice fountain and stuff like that. It's pretty large. Seems like there's a venue here for like maybe, I don't know, larger things, and then there are like more standard venues here. Probably smaller things to look at inside the main building as well. Also, Poland is known for Witcher. Yeah. The Witcher! That's your, like, I don't know. Isn't, like, The Witcher one or... like, one of the largest, like, media exports? Is the Witcher series, books, TV series, games, etc. the one of Poland's largest exports. Largest media exports. I think I read that somewhere. Yes, The Witcher is one of Poland's largest and most successful media exports, becoming the country's most successful international brand and a significant driver of its video game industry. Okay. I guess that makes sense. If you like think of Polish, well-known Polish media, The Witcher is definitely like on the top of everything there. I think Cyberpunk 2, I don't remember if it was the book or game. I mean, Cyberpunk isn't based on a book, is it? Or at least not Cyberpunk 2077. I think that's a wholly like CD Projekt Red trademark or whatever you call it. Cyberpunk 2077 based on a book. Oh, it is! Well, it's based on a tabletop role-playing game called Cyberpunk. Okay, so it's not based on a book, but on another product. That's interesting. And I can see it, yeah, it takes like inspiration from Neuromancer, Hardwired, but those are like like Cyberpunk classics. These are like genre-defying books, but I don't know. No, this is by an American-Canadian author, so Cyberpunk in itself isn't like Polish in origin, like not the genre, but the tabletop game might be, I don't know. It doesn't say that here, does it? I don't think so. But the video game was definitely made in Poland. What's Kielbasa? Kielbasa. Oh, we get an answer in Polish. What is it? Oh, sausage. Man, okay. Kielbasa. Chopin. He was also Polish. I mean, I know Poland obviously has like great people and great stuff and like things like that. I was mostly curious about traveling to Poland. Like, is there something touristy? But it doesn't sound like there's a bunch of like tourist specific things to do in Poland. Not unless you're there for like the Polish culture, because that's obviously one of the aspects you might wanna experience if you go to Poland. Hello, Amanda. Energylandia, what's that? Was it Yanda or is it Landia? Landia, probably. Oh, it's an amusement park, I see. It's made of wood. Imagine a fire here. Then it would go kawoosh. Kawoosh. I'm from Sweden. Sweden. Very large. How large would you say very large? I find it so hard to like find amusement parks large after visiting like Universal Studios in Orlando, like in Florida. That was that's a large amusement park. I guess we can look it up. Let's compare. Yeah, size. What's even this? Is this hectares? Size in meters, maybe? Yeah, 74 hectares. That's cool. Yeah, where are you from? Orlando Universal Studios. 522 hectares. That's a pretty large difference. But it's a good size of an amusement park. Honestly insane when you think about it. I am from US. Ooh, the United States. US. Wait, it's probably pretty, not early, but it's midday for you then. Midday United States. But there's also a very large difference if you're like East or West Coast, isn't it? Like there's a lot, like maybe 3 or 4 hours in difference even inside the US, I think. That is pretty crazy. Because you have like Eastern time, Central time, and Western time, I think. I don't have that. I don't really look at American time zones that often though, so I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe. From Texas. That's probably central then. Damn. I've never been to Texas. I've been to Wyoming and Florida though. I like Florida and Wyoming. I feel like Texas is... I don't know. I imagine it being like a combination of the two almost. But maybe I'm wrong. Yeah. It's very nice. But I don't know. I probably like Florida more than Wyoming, to be honest, even though Wyoming is very special. Like I'd say I like the environment in Wyoming more, but I like the weather and the infrastructure, so to speak, in Florida more. Because it's not fun to have to drive for like 1.5 hours simply to go and get food at the nearest convenience store. And that's if you're pretty close to a convenience store. Some people live even further away from convenience stores. Or convenience or grocery stores, I'd say. That's probably the better word. They might not even have convenience stores in Wyoming, unless you're like in the quote-unquote central areas. But even that is more like villages. Oh, you've been to Florida. What did you do in Florida? Did you go to Miami Beach, maybe? I know, maybe down to the Keys? Maybe to... I think they have Disney World in Florida. They do have Universal Studios though. I'm trying to remember the price for Universal Studios. I think it was like... I might be misremembering, but like $700 or $800 per ticket. Or like 1 day. Like, that's just insane. I do remember like the price being outrageous. The experience was worth it, I'd still say. I checked, and Poland is known for the Wawel Castle. It would probably have more attractions, but you know, Warsaw was destroyed. Do you mean during World War II? It's been so many years since I last studied like the intricacies of German occupied Poland, Warsaw destruction. But I do think I remember something about that. Yeah, late into the Second World War. The uprising infuriated German leaders who decided to destroy the city in retaliation. The razing of the city had long been planned. That's not very nice. But I mean, it's also... a country doesn't need to have a lot of tourist attractions. I'd even go so far as to say that it's like better if the country doesn't have like a huge amount of tourist attractions, because then you have less tourists. I don't know. Some tourists are totally fine, but when it gets too much, like when you have too many tourists, that will like change the landscape. Some people might not mind that, but I wouldn't want to live in like a city or something that has a bunch of tourist attractions. For us it's bad. The society is getting older, more old people than young ones. Yeah, I can see like the economic side to it as well. Like tourism in itself is definitely like a big earner if you do it right. Though I don't really see how the declining birth rates is going to be fixed by tourism. Though that's a whole different subject and a whole different discussion and everything. I've never been to Miami, but I've been to Tampa. Tampa. Is that further up and to the west? I don't actually remember. I think I've maybe been to Tampa as well. I don't remember though. Tampa, Florida. Yeah. No, I've probably been like here, maybe. Not in Tampa itself. It looks very snazzy, very, very nice though. At least in these images here. What do you even do there? A major business center is also known for its museums and other cultural offerings. Busch Gardens is an African-themed amusement park with thrill rides. Okay. So they have an amusement park and stuff like that. Okay. And probably a beach and everything since it's a coastal town. If there are tourists, they might want to live here someday. It helps a little sometimes. Yeah, I can see that. That's definitely like one angle. But then there are like Japan that has like problems with tourism. Like they have almost too much tourism. Like to the degree where like the indigenous population or whatever you call it, like the people who live there, are getting fed up with it and they want like stricter rules on immigration and all of that due to tourism. Or at least tourism is contributing to that. So then they get less people coming in. So you need to have like a good balance, as with all things. That's like the spice of life balance. Tokyo population is pretty big, not gonna lie. Yeah, isn't it the next to largest city or something? Or most populated, not largest, but most populated cities. Yeah, Tokyo. Is it by square kilometer though? Or square mile or square hectare? I don't know. Square hectare. Hectare all are already square, but yeah. I don't know. I'm wondering if it's simply that, like, there might be more people in Beijing, for example, but it's like the outskirts. Like Beijing might be like more sparsely populated, but have a larger population, but it doesn't count specifically as Beijing in that like scenario. It isn't central Beijing. While in Tokyo, like central parts of Tokyo are like incredibly like densely populated. Square hectare would be cubic kilometers. True. A square hectare. Or would it? Maybe. Or maybe it wouldn't be anything. Okay, here we can have it. Population rankings can vary slightly depending on the source and on whether the data refers to the city proper, metropolitan area, or urban agglomeration. What is this word, agglomeration? Meaning a mass or collection of things, an assemblage. Agglomeration. Alright. The more you know. I've like almost given up on writing any code. We're just chatting. Though I want to get some things done. I'll make some progress. Distraction successful. Damn it! Damn it! You damn sneaky bastard. Damn sneak. Damn it. Well, I'm gonna take a short break and I'll be right back. And this time I'm not gonna let you distract me. I'm gonna try to make some progress, hopefully. Be right back. Okay. Right. Alright. So Now what? I don't even remember what I did last evening. Oh right, we finished this one here. So I'm probably gonna read this one just to make sure that we're all caught up. That is a fantastic result because I pasted this result here. It's not the same though, but that's what you get with some variance. The code ran successfully, which means your dimensions are perfectly aligned. The analysis. The loss. Look at that drop. You went down from pi, which is just a coincidence in this case, and to something lower. A loss of approximately 0.2 means the model is roughly 70 or 80 to 90% confident in its predictions. It has effectively memorized the training data. The text. Old model. A. It stuttered like crazy. It only wrote A's for some reason. Stuttering only looked at previous character. The new model. We are building a test, or we're building a brain. Who are building a brain? Who? It's an owl now. Observation. It created a grammatically correct sentence that didn't exist in the original text. Yes, this proves the self-attention is working. The model is looking back at previous words to understand the structure. You're just staring straight at me like, what the hell is going on? Mind blown. At least the emojis aren't breaking now when you're doing only emojis. Can you try typing text and then a space and then an emoji? That should still work, right? I think that should work. We are building. It's got a little confused between the two sentences because it only has one attention head to look at everything at once. It's like a person with a limited attention span. And we want it to be a Hydra. You didn't do a space, did you? But at least it doesn't seem to have come through as a space. Wait, I can't even copy. Wait. I did, it deletes it automatically. Oh, okay, then I really need to like fix that somehow. That's annoying. Well, thank you for acting as a troubleshooter with me at least. I feel like partial credit can get like you can get partial credit if I get this to work in the end. Maybe like this. Also, underscores doesn't work either. Bugbusters. I want 32% share. Nah, man, that ain't happening. Very oddly specific as well. If you use a comma, it doesn't that mean like that you want a 32,675,000% share? You want it all. Where were I? Answering why 32? Okay, no, that's irrelevant now. Okay, so we're next level. Multi-head attention, so we're converting this to a Hydra. The AI becomes a Hydra with many eyes. Many eyes. Only one mouth though, hopefully. We don't want it to spit gibberish. Alright, in Polish we use comma instead of dot. Oh, you do. Okay. For fractions, yeah. We might actually do that in Sweden now that I'm thinking about it. I'm not sure. Though I think I'm used to writing with the dot, like. Yeah, I'm used to doing fractions like that. Or decimals. Like 0 dots. Whatever. I'm used to that, so no, probably not. Right now, your model has one single eye, one head. It has to use that one eye to learn grammar, vocabulary, and context all at the same time. That is why it mixed up brain and test. It got overwhelmed. To fix this, we give the model multiple eyes, many eyes. Head 1 might focus on who is doing the action. Head 2 might focus on what is the object. If we want to upgrade to 4 heads, but we still need the final output to be 32 to keep the pipeline safe, what should the head size of each individual head be? So that's the question we're getting. Did you know that 0. in parentheses 9 equals 1? No, is that like some specific like mathematical, I don't know, syntax? Is it called syntax in math as well? Or is it only in programming? I don't know. 9 recurring. It means it's going on infinitely. Wait, so you mean... Oh, you mean like... Okay, so you mean like 0.999999 infinitely becomes 1. You meant 0.9, yeah. I mean, I can see how that could make sense, though I don't understand how it does make sense. If that makes sense to you. Like, you can always like have infinities of various size and stuff like that, so it's like math gets weird and abstract at higher levels. There's mathematical proof. I don't doubt it. There's surely some proof of that. And like there's proof that you can have like 2 infinities added together to make a larger infinity than a single infinity. It's like there's no point to even think about stuff like that, in my opinion, because it's simply I don't know. It's simply mental masturbation for geeks. Just like I can see a purpose in it. If there are different numbers, there is always something between them, like between 1 and 2, there is 1.5, but between those there is nothing. Wait, but between those two there is nothing. Oh, you mean like between 0.99999 that goes on forever and 1? Between that there is like nothing between that. Okay, I see the logic behind it, even though I don't really think it's useful. Like, it's not... I don't feel like I will ever have any use for this knowledge. But it's still a bit interesting, I guess. A bit fascinating. Damn it, you're distracting me again, Gojo. How do you do this all the time? Damn it. Okay, so the question, if you want to upgrade to 4 heads, but you want the final output to be 32, what should the head size of each individual head be? Well, that's basic arithmetic or math or whatever you call it. So 8. I can tell you a cool mathematical riddle. It requires some special genius. Please do. Oh, okay. Not a riddle distraction. Damn it. You're glazing yourself so hard. I'm just easily distracted. At least if I'm not really focused. Like if I'm at half focus, if you can even say that. Like if I'm partially focused at something, I'm super easily distracted. But if I'm like locked in, then it's very difficult to distract me. But please give me the cool mathematical riddle while I read this one. That is exactly right. If you want 4 parallel attention heads and a total dimension of 32, each head must handle a smaller vector of size 8. The concept. Parallel processing. Ooh, cool. Think of it like a group project. Single head, current. 1 student, head size 32. Big brain. Tries to analyze grammar, tone, vocabulary, and context all at once. Not big brain enough, I guess. Multi-head goal for students, head size 8 each. Split the work. Student A, I'll look for verbs. Student B, I'll look for pronouns. Student C is slacking off. We don't mention student C. Concatenation at the end. They tape their notes together to get back to the full 32-page report. I'm so Sigma right now, bro. For real. Stop with the brain rot. I don't allow it. Stop. You're violating the law. So, step 1, modularize the head. Before we can have 4 heads, we need to we need to make a cookie cutter class so we can easily create as many as we want. We need to extract the attention logic from your bigram language model and put it into a new class called head. Your task. Define a new class head.nn module above your main model class. It needs init and forward. Int, don't forget to pass head size to the linear layer instead of number of embedding dimensions. The input to the layer is still number of embedding dimensions, but the output is head size. You have a bag that consists of 100 kilograms of potatoes. It contains 99% water and 1% dried mass. 1% of the potatoes water dries. How many kilograms kilogram remains? I give you 2 seconds to answer. You failed. Bro, I'm not that big brained. Didn't you see the thumbnail today? Like more big chinned. Not a chinned, big. What do you call the area below the eyes? It's the cheekbones. I'm big cheekboned today. Okay, so how do we actually do this? I guess we're gonna do it before, above your main model class to get that initialized, because we don't do the import annotations from future or whatever it's called. So I don't know, let's call this a comment for the, I don't know, let's call it head simply. I don't know what to even write there. What about the riddle? Is it a riddle? Or is it a math problem? I guess that's semantics. I mean, if you wanna... I might be stupid. But don't you simply do... This is the weight of the water. And this is the... This has to be the weight afterwards, right? Or did I do something strange? No, wait, because we have... Oh, didn't mean to go back to that one. We're getting the water weight. And we're removing 1% from the water weight. And then we're adding back the dry mass, which is 1. How is that wrong? It's been such a long time since I studied any math, so I'm not surprised if I'm wrong. But I can't see why I'm wrong. Answer? Yeah, we'll see what the Gemini says here. It should be able to calculate something like this. This is easy enough for it to get correct, hopefully. Yeah. Based on the strict wording of your riddle, the answer is 99.01 kilograms. However, the problem is a variation of the famous potato paradox. Ooh, okay, depending on exactly how you interpret the 1% tries, the answer could be surprisingly different. Oh, so you wrote the paradox wrong. That's why I'm so confused on why it would be wrong. 1% of the potato water dries. This implies we're calculating 1% of the current water mass and removing it. Wait, did it literally do... It made almost the exact same steps that I did. Yeah. This riddle is usually phrased, the potatoes dry until they are 98% water. A drop of 1 percentage point. This is... Okay, so this is the actual... Ha, gotcha moment here. If this is what you meant, the answer changes drastically to 50 kilograms. Sorry, I forgot the phrasing. No, that's alright, that's alright. The potatoes will dry until they are 98% water. I still don't see how that will drop it down to 50 kilograms. It's about the ratio. Okay, here's what happens. The dry mass never changes, it's still 1 kilogram. If the potatoes are now 98% water, that means the dry mass 1 kilogram must make up the remaining 2% of the total weight. Oh, that does make sense. In this scenario, evaporating enough water to drop the percentage by just 1% requires removing half the total weight of the bag. I guess that's a lesson on why phrasing is important. So I wasn't wrong. But I'm not sure I would have solved the quote-unquote correct riddle. From 1 to 99, wait, from a ratio of 1 to 99 to the ratio of 2 to 98, which equals to 1 out of 49. Yeah, I guess you can simplify that way, which would make it easier to calculate later. So that's the aspect that confuses people. You only drop like by 1 percentage point, but in reality that corresponds to a huge decrease in weight. Interesting. Interesting. Where were we? Okay, we're trying to do this here. So we're gonna do a class head of an NN dot module. And we want an init method that references the self with the head size as a parameter. When does a joke become a dad joke? I feel like that's a dad joke in itself you're trying to make. Yeah, when it becomes apparent. Woo! Are you dad? Oh, I'm stupid. Stupid. I feel like we wanna default this as well to an int 8 maybe. Since that was the example we provided or got, whatever. And we should move these to the head. Key, query, and value. But we can't use number of embedding dimensions here, obviously. I'm guessing we're gonna have to use head size for both out and input. I don't see how else it would work. I'm hungry. Hi, hungry. I'm dead. I'm also hungry. Like actually hungry. I do have some chicken thawing. I'm gonna eat some late night food after stream. Did you know a frog can jump higher than the Eiffel Tower? Because the Eiffel Tower can't jump. Bruh. Bruh, why? 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 That's so stupid. Oh my god. It's so stupid. Nowadays, whenever I read like the Eiffel Tower, I always think of like those scammers in Paris that sell like tiny Eiffel Towers. A frog could jump over those. Wait, maybe I should remove this as well from here. And what else? What else do we need to do? We need to create a forward method. Is that all? Is that all? Really? Forward, referencing the self, and X. Move the attention math. Okay. So that's... Is it only this or... No masking, softmax, aggregation, I have to go. Dear stranger I met on the internet. Thou shalt remember me, but don't scatter my ashes. I shall return one day. Meanwhile, goodbye. May you find this night good. You too, good sir. You too, good sir. Have a really good night. Really good night. Drink some vodka, get some nice sleep, and I'll see you in next stream. I don't know why I made that accent. Magnificent, magnificento. Bravissimo. Very good, sir. Very good. Yeah. Have a good night. Bye-bye. So we're gonna move this. Do we want to move the embeddings as well? No. No, probably not. We do want to move tension scores and masking as softmax. Not the final projection though, I don't think. Probably only these. And then we're gonna have to change the forward method something. Otherwise, this won't work. Let's remove the indicators for the order of things. Okay, so we have self.head size. That means we also need to do a self.head size and set that to head size. So we have that stored as a variable. Ooh, we also have t here. TTT. How do we get t? I'm gonna copy and paste this. We don't have t. Otherwise, is this correct? I can't see an issue with this other than with the t. I guess we could maybe set it here. Maybe like a self.t and then pass that along. That feels hacky somehow though. That doesn't sit well with me. You have a sharp eye, you correctly spotted that T. I didn't spot that, but sure. And IDX are missing from this new isolated class. Since head is a standalone component now, it doesn't know anything about the outside world unless we tell it. Here are the 4 fixes needed to make this class valid. The missing T and device. In the main model we had IDX, the input tokens. Here we only receive X, the feature vectors. Fix. We can grab dimensions and device directly from X. Okay. And we can do X.device. Okay. So I guess we're gonna do BTC or batch time and channels equals X.shape. So we're extracting that size there, and then we're using the T. And then here we do X.device instead. That should solve that. The input dimension trap. Look at your layer definition, self.key, and then .linear head size, bias false. The problem, the input coming into this head X is still the full size embedding vector, size 32. The head's job is to shrink it down to 8. To fix the first argument, input size must be number of embeddings 32, not head size 8. We need to pass number of embeddings into init. Oh, okay. Alright, and we also need to initialize the parent, so super. Can't spell for shit today. Dot init. Initialize that one. And then we'd also need the number of embedding dimensions equals int. No, not equals int like so. Why is this complaining? It shouldn't complain. There's nothing wrong with this, is it? If we do self dot and wait, we don't need to do that. Never mind. We only need to copy this to input here. Wait, is it due to us setting a default value here? If we do it in this order instead, now it works. Right, for some reason these need to be at the edge, or at the end, if they have default values. So, we're initializing the super, or we're doing the parent initialization on the module class. And then we're setting the head size to be able to self-reference that later here. Is there something else we need to do? You calculated x equals y dot v, but it didn't send it back. Oh. Right. Return x. We obviously need to return from the forward function. Otherwise all these calculations would be for nothing. Oh, here's the corrected code. Okay, let's see. Wait, why is it defaulting to 32 here? Oh, let's assume you passed an embedding, but to keep it simple with your current variables, let's stick to the fact that your embed is likely 32. Okay. I'm just gonna copy and paste this back so it knows that we didn't do it like that. This is the same though. Return out. Yeah, we can actually rename that. Out seems way better for making it clearer to us that it's a entirely new number. I did it like this. There's no way to hard code stuff now and then have to go back and change it. It's better to simply fix the issues ahead of time if you spot them. That is a clean, correct implementation of a self-attention head. Okay. Swapping the engine. Now that we have this modular head part, we need to plug it into the main car. Bigram language model. We're going to replace all the manual self-key, self-query, and self.value lines in your main class with a single instance of your new head class. Okay, so the task is to update the Bigram language model in the init. We did delete all of those lines already. They were below here, I think. So we're going to replace them with self.saHead, a new variable we're defining, and its head number of embeddings passing along and the head size. Let's set that to 8 in this scenario, even though that's the default. Make sure you pass both arguments. You don't need to for this one, but okay. Forward. Delete the entire block of code that manually calculates the key, query and value, way, masked fill and softmax. We did that, yes. Let's remove these because they're confusing now. Likewise with these. And just gonna finish it with the execution. Yeah, there we are. Now mask with softmax. We don't have anything like that, no, but we don't have anything else either. So before the final projection, I think I'm gonna do x equals self.saHead x. So we're passing that along through the head. But we're only creating one head of this head size now, of 8. So I'm guessing this is gonna cause issues. It's expecting me to write 32 here to bypass the default of 8 is my guess, because we only have one head now. And we want that to be the total of the heads to be the same as the number of embedding dimensions. Alright, so I'm gonna paste. Ooh, I did something wrong. I didn't mean to do that. So let's copy that and paste it. Oh, it's so to simply copy only the background language model. Well, it got the heads class as well for free. Okay, that's all good. Your architecture is now modular. Instead of a messy block of math inside the main model, you just have self.sa head. Self-attention head. That's the meaning of that one. Sanity check. Wait. Ooh. What's gonna... No, that's fine. Okay, let's do a quick mental trace of the dimensions to ensure no broken pipe ever occurs. Input X enters SA head with the shape of BT32. 32 channels. Because we have the embedding dimension of 32. Then head, inside head, it projects down to head size, which you set to 32 in the init call. Output, so SA head returns out with shape of BT32. And LM head expects input 32. So that works. Go ahead and run the code. So it shouldn't do anything different. Yeah, it's the next step that's actually doing the multi-head attention. So if we run this, it trains and it swiftly calculates the loss down to much lower. Ooh, this isn't very clear though. Guess that's why we're improving it. Guess that's the whole reason. All right. It says paste the output, so here you go. This is the least clear output we've gotten since we did the attention heads, but it's probably no biggie. That's probably to be expected, to be honest. Okay, so the loss is good, and the code is modular. The output is actually a good sign. It shows the model has learned the chunks, AI, and world very strongly, even if it's getting a bit dizzy repeating them. This happens because we are overfitting memorizing on such a tiny dataset. Okay, so now let's upgrade from 1 eye to 4 eyes. I'm gonna give it glasses. Topic 34. Multi-head attention. We're going to... Oh my god, I forgot about that. Oh my god. I keep going back and forth, and this turns off the guided learning. And this is altering like the whole teaching style too much. That's so annoying. I wish Google would fix this. Like you could create a chat window and have that as a guided learning. Because this system is annoying. It's so annoying. Like there's no way I'm gonna keep remembering, or that I'm gonna remember that I need to actually toggle that each time. Can I? I can't go back and do it, can I? can probably do... It seems I forgot to toggle the guided learning mode. Go back one step to where I pasted the output and redo your answer without this information coloring your response. Okay, so we're getting a different answer now, definitely. However, looking at the inner text, what do you notice about the quality or pattern of the output? Does it look like natural language, or does it seem to be doing something else? It seems to be repeating a sequence of characters that it's memorized. I mean, what else is it gonna do? It's the only thing it can do. Okay, so you spotted a classical phenomenon in machine learning called overfitting. Because our dataset is so tiny, our model is like it's really tiny. Like, this is all the data. Our model is like a student with a photographic memory studying for a test with only one question. It hasn't learned language. It has just memorized the specific sequence of characters in your variable text. However, this is actually great news for debugging. It proves your multi-head attention is working perfectly. The heads are successfully finding patterns and copying them. You're wrong. You're wrong. This is the code I currently possess. It seems like it skipped ahead a bunch of stuff. It's stuff like this that's so damn annoying. And this isn't like an issue on the AI side, it's an issue with the interface. Google has done a poor job with this aspect of it all. Looking at your code, I see exactly where we are. You have a functioning modular single head model. Your head class is defined correctly. Your bigram language model initializes one big head, self-attention head. Now we are ready for the upgrade to multi-head attention. The goal, parallel processing. Instead of one big head size 32 trying to learn everything, we want 4 smaller heads size 8 running in parallel. This allows them to specialize. One head might focus on verbs, another on pronouns, etc. To make this happen, we need to create a new class, let's call it multi-head attention, that holds a list of these head objects. Guiding question, we can't just put layers into a regular Python list. For example, self.heads, okay, because PyTorch won't see them to update their weights during training. Do you happen to know the specific PyTorch container we use to store a list of layers so they are properly registered? I do not. No idea. No idea. No problem at all. It's a very specific PyTorch quirk, so you haven't seen it before. You wouldn't know it. The container is called nn.module_list. Okay, why not just a Python list? If you just use a regular list like self.heads, blah blah, PyTorch won't see them. When you call model.parameters, PyTorch looks at all the attributes of your class. It knows how to look inside nn.linear or nn.sequential. It does not look inside standard Python lists. Result, your head would be invisible to the optimizer and they would never learn anything. They'd become a goldfish. nn.module list solves this by wrapping the list and explicitly registering every module inside of it. Hands-on, implementing multi-head attention. Now we can build a class. We need to create the heads using the nn.module list, run them all in the forward pass, concatenate their outputs together using torch.cat. Your task, add this class above your diagram language model. I mean, did it simply give us the answer? It did, didn't it? It seems you're back to giving me copy-paste answers. Why did you suddenly what? What's the word? Deviate from the previous teaching style? Previous practical teaching style. I think that's the correct term, practical teaching style. Because if you do practical... or is that the wrong word? I don't know. Let's get back to the Socratic hands-on mode. Okay, you're the builder here, I'm just a blueprint checker. We want to create a new class, multi-head attention, that manages multiple instances of the head class you just built. Let's start with the setup. Your task, define the class, multi-head attention and the module and write its init. To make it flexible, what 3 parameters do you think we should pass to init so we can configure the number of heads and their sizes? Okay, so it's still saying we're gonna do a nn.module here, not module list. We do need to define that above heads probably. So let's call this multi-head list. I don't know. So class multi-head attention nn.module capitalized. And it has an method called init with a self-reference and what else? What 3 parameters do you think we need to pass into the init so we can configure the number of heads and their sizes? What do we need? We definitely need the number of embedding dimensions, because that's what we need when we create the heads and the head size. And then we also need the number of heads. What do we call that? And heads, maybe? Let's default that to int 4 for this scenario. Wait, what's wrong? If we default this as well, it looks the same. We haven't... Oh wait, it's complaining because we're not doing... Oh, I'm stupid. I'm stupid. I'm stupid. Of course it's complaining about the empty method. So I'm gonna paste this. Also maybe do multi-head like so. Multi-head. I'll be right back. Alright. And that is a perfect start. You have defined the class and the 3 key parameters we need. Number of embedding dimensions, the size of the input vector, for example 32. And head size, the size of each individual head, for example 8. And heads, how many parallel heads we want. Now let's fill in the body of init. We need to create a list of head instances using the head class you built earlier and wrap them in a nn.module list, so PyTorch recognizes them. Your task: complete the init method. We need to remove this entirely and... Wait, why can't I? Oh, it's... like so, and we need to place it here, since we need to reference the heads here. Okay. So we need to call it something, I don't know. Heads equals nn.module module list. And then what? Yeah, I guess that's, and then for I in n heads. Wait, what is it? What's wrong with this one? Oh my god. I can almost tell what's wrong with it. It needs to be a range, right? But it can't do. Can we do range like this? Maybe we can. And heads dot append. Head. And embed dimensions as an embed dimensions. Ooh. N. And head size equals head size, and that's all, isn't it? What do we need? Yeah, we need those two. And it defaults here. We don't need this to be defaulted, since we're doing the defaulting in the initialization of the multi-head attention now instead. So we're appending the amount of heads that we need with the head size that we specify, and we're giving it the head size and the number of embedding dimensions. That should work. There might be another loop we can use instead of a for loop, like a while loop or something, maybe? I don't know. You have the logic for creating the heads perfectly. However, there are two small but critical Python/PyTorch housekeeping details missing in init that will break the model if we run it. The parent setup, since we are inheriting from an module, what standard line of code must always be the first line inside init. Oh. Super dot init. There we go. The variable scope, you created heads. Since this is a local variable, it will disappear once init finishes. How do we attach this to the class instance? We can use it later for forward. I'm gonna do self.heads. Then here self.heads. That makes more sense. Now it should be foolproof, hopefully. Constructing attention heads. Clarifying model structure, revising forward method, evaluating output shapes. That looks perfect. You correctly initialized the parent class with super and attached the self.heads list to the module using nn.module list. This ensures PyTorch will track all of those parameters during training. Now, let's finish this class by writing the forward method. Your task implements the forward self_x method inside multi-head attention. It needs to do two things. Run heads pass x through every head in self.heads. This will give you a list of 4 output tensors. Concatenate, stitch those 4 tensors together side by side using torch.cat. Hint, we want to concatenate along the last dimension dim -1 so that our 4 vectors of size 8 become one big vector of size 32. Okay. Let's try that. So, define forward. Self. What else do we need? X. And that's all. It should be. So Pass X through every head in self heads. S4 I in range. Self dot heads. Count, no. Maybe self dot heads. The length of self dot heads. Why isn't this working? Oh wait, are we? I guess we can simply iterate through them like so. And then we do... we call it head. And we say that x equals head x. No. Now we're passing the values along in serial. We're not like passing them one at a time and then concatenating them at the end. And that's a mistake. And we could hard code like for like x1, x2, x3, x4 and then pass those along. I guess we're gonna have to create a local variable. Let's call it... I don't know, val for value, I don't know. Let's create an empty... nn.module list. And then we... oh wait, is it... can we do a tensor list maybe? Torch... oh wait, can we do a simple list with tensors? No, wait. Val 10. No, wait. What am I missing? Torch. Of course. Torch dot tensor. Is this how we do it? Or can we not have type list and it's not assignable to declare type tensor? Okay, but are you saying we can stick this one in here? I was just worried that we'd create like one tensor in here by doing this, but maybe not. Because this should be a list of tensors, right? What does it say here? List type tensor. Okay. So val dot append x, oh no, head x. Or wait a moment. Maybe we want to directly concatenate the old value to the new value. Can we do that? let's call it val2 simply because equals. I don't know, can we do torch tensor like so? Or does this create a class? No, it's a variable type tensor, okay. So if we were to then do, let's comment out this one. And instead do val do concat equals torch.concatenate. Is it the whole? No, it's torch.cat. Or are we doing val2.cat? No. Just be torch.cat. And the values. So we either want a list of tensors or we want a tuple of tensors. Okay, so we do need a list. I mean, then it's probably better to do it the way we originally planned it. Like so, and then I don't know what to call it. Valcat equals torch.cat val and the dimension of -1 for the last dimension. Is there something else we need to do? No. This doesn't seem to be allowed though. Argument of type list type tensor cannot be assigned to parameter tensors of type tuple tensor or list tensor. What do you mean? I'm just gonna give it all of this. This is what I came up with. The variable names are poor and something about the torch.cat is wrong. What do you think? It's horrible. It's horrible. Awful. Nah. It's alright. It's aight. I honestly don't see like why this is wrong. You're actually very close to the logic of collect output, append to a list, concatenate is exactly right. You have a runtime error waiting to happen in your initialization though. This creates a list containing the class type. Not an empty list. I just thought it would be clever to define what the list would contain, but I guess that was overambitious. Okay. Let's give it the updated class and see if it moves on to the next step, maybe. Okay, now multi-head attention will produce a single output tensor of size 32, 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8, exactly mimicking the behavior of the single big head we had before. Big brain, but with parallel processing capabilities. Connecting the wires. Now for the final step of this upgrade, plug the new component into the main machine. We need to update bigram language model to use your new class. Your task, update bigram language model in your script. So in the init, we need to replace SA head with SA heads multiple. I guess that makes sense. And instead of head here, we want to do multi-head attention, and then we pass along a number of embeddings, head size, and heads equals 4. And head size, set that to 8 since that's the default. Or maybe we shouldn't even, since the default is alright, we can simply leave it like so. And only pass along the number of embeddings. And then what? Oh, so we could do it like so, I guess. Or we could simply have a default here. I don't know which is better. I guess the best way would be to do n heads equals int, and let's default that to 4. And then the head size equals number of embeddings and n heads. And then we also pass along n heads. Or wait, n heads equals n heads. There we go. That should work. Because then we have these defaulted here, and we don't need to have them. We will never use this, will we? I don't think so. So we can remove that value and this value. Because we have that defaulted here, and head size will always be calculated using the number of heads and the number of embedding dimensions to get the correct one. Alright, then we need to do update the call to use self.sa heads x. So when we call this, we pass along x here, and we do all of that, and we return valcat. I still don't like that name, but whatever. Wait, since we're setting x to that, then it's probably... maybe we do values, and then we're setting x to that, and we return x. And then we have values and values. Maybe this looks better, because then we see here that we're returning x, and we also set it to x here, x to itself then. In other words, after the modification. Let's give it this upgrade. And hopefully it won't complain. Wait, once we have updated the code, run the script. Ooh, we can do that as well. I did it like this. Hopefully it won't scold me. Alright, let's run it. Ooh, that's a much lower loss. Is that a fluke, or is the multi-head attention actually doing such a good job at like increasing its attention span? Maybe that's exactly what it's doing. I don't wanna say that it's better though. Even though the loss is lower, I don't wanna say it's better, but that might be a fluke with this specific generation as well. Okay, run the code. No crashes, stability. The multi-head setup learns just as well as a single big head. Paste the output when you have it. What comes next? While the code runs, think about this. Right now, the tokens look, quote-unquote look, at each other, attention, and then immediately shout the findings to the final prediction layer, LM head. They gather information, but they don't have any time to process it individually. If you are a student doing a group project, attention, you gather notes from your 4 teammates. You sit down alone to think about those notes and synthesize them into your own understanding. We don't do that. What kind of neural network layer works on each token individually, independent of the others, to process features? Hint, it is the most basic type of layer in deep learning. I'm guessing it's a linear layer. At least that's my guess. That is rock solid. Is a rock solid run. The loss dropped all the way to 0.12. That is incredibly low. Your 4-eyed monster, our Hydra, has successfully memorized the tiny dataset. The repetitive text is expected, it's just cycling through the patterns it knows best. Now, let's go back to that missing piece I mentioned while the code was running. Right now your model does this. Attention, I found these related tokens. Communication output, here is the result prediction. It lacks a step in the middle to digest that information. We need a layer that looks at each token individually and processes its new features. Do you know the name of the standard neural network layer that is just a simple connection of neurons? Often y equals mx plus b. We usually stack two of them together with a non-linearity, like ReLU, in between to create a thinking block. I think I'm gonna have to end it here. But we did make some progress today. Some progress. We do have actual multi-attention going on from the tokens. So that's something. It's still crazy that we haven't done any work on the tokens themselves, have we? We're only sorting them and making sure they're unique. We're building the vocabulary, that's all we're doing. We aren't actually like teaching, like we aren't training it on like a better set of tokens. But it is producing something, even though it's gibberish at the moment. Though, honestly, at this point, the low quality of the output is probably mostly due to the how little data we have here. We need a lot more data probably for it to actually learn like language structure. Though I still think it's weird that it doesn't like simply print this on a loop. I do find that weird. Well, if you have the answer, then maybe you can leave a comment. Tell me why that is. Oh, I think my chicken has thawed entirely by now. So I'm gonna go and make myself a very late night snack. Thank you so much for watching. You know what to do if you liked it. Please take care and I'll see you in the next one. I don't know if it's gonna be gaming or more programming, but that's for tomorrow me to decide. So yeah, cheers!